Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morgandy at the famous Royal Meredith Hotel in the famous township of the thriving Meredith, Peter.
Not even 12, Darren.
Well, we haven't had a beer yet.
No, not on the bar.
We've just ordered a couple of coffees.
Public in the background, putting on all the TVs for the tab.
Yep, we've talked to Damien and he's going to give you his insight into Passaggio, who's running today at Pakenham, Peter.
Part owner, Damo.
$61, is it?
I think it's second favourite.
$5 now.
Yeah.
Alright, well
Righto.
let's go to last week's runners, Pete. Where do you want to start?
We'll wind the clock back to Geelong last Friday, which is just down the road from where we are. Lord Lennox ran 5th.
What do you make of that?
He's hurt himself, I think. I've found out since, but his run was good, I thought, for a horse that was coming back from 2200 back to 1500.
It was a strange move to go back to 1500, I thought.
He couldn't find, it was probably ideally looking for 17, but he ran well. I thought he looked a bit better at one stage. He travelled up nice, but in the wash-up he has pulled up sore.
Yeah, it's interesting he didn't have the right race, so he went to a shorter distance as a fill-in race, and now we're...
Yeah, don't know. So,
all right, so
the last
stand
update
by.
was a wait and see.
Stand by.
But the run was good. I think there was sort of a length or so between 5 horses. Sunday we had a couple of runners. I'll go to Maui first with Unassailable. As the public starts to become a bit more active, a bit closer to midday. I think she got bogged down.
Well, in the run, it was hard to watch because she looked useless.
Yeah, she was all over.
She was gone before the bend, and I thought, this is going to run last. And he sort of half sat up on her in the straight, didn't he?
Yeah, I looked after her, I think. Yeah. It's funny. Mick Price obviously gave out the
Well, I was waiting for
tip.
Mick Price to ring me up and say, pick it up.
But he gave the tip out for the other thing, which just finished in front of us. But his other thing where he never said nothing about.
One.
One or second. Well, so they got no idea, have they?
I think he's got an idea. Just kept it all for himself.
Yeah, anyway.
No, it was a disappointing run, but look, if she doesn't handle the wet, she doesn't handle the wet. So I see she's nominated on 3 occasions for next week or late next week. So I suppose we'll find out, but she's got to find a bit of form, Pete, and she's going to get a run after 2 unplaced runs. Good luck with that.
One little bit of positive I got out of it was what you got in a text message from young Liam Reid.
I thought it was pretty good that Liam
thanking you for the ride.
Texted us and I forwarded it on to the owners. So he actually said that the run was better than it looked and don't sack it yet.
Coming back from 3 or 4 months off bad injury, Liam, so he's just trying to branch out and make some contacts with owners. Yep. Ballarat same day we had our I Am Invincible filly, Capriccio, finished 4th.
About what we thought. Daniel Bowman was pretty bullish about it.
Well, look, she only just missed 3rd, and
what do you think? That was a pretty strong race.
I think the form race, the
form
out of the race will be really strong. Yeah, there's our beers. Oh.
2 coffees.
2 coffees. She's now in the paddock for just a brief let up, basically, and then back for spring.
Yeah, I thought it was a good run. I don't think it really panned out for her on the day. Barrier 2. She was just dictated to a little bit and just held up a little bit.
And she's just
wanted to go.
Of a new horse, just wanting to get over a race.
Yeah, and I just think Daniel wasn't over impressed with the way the race was run, but very impressed with the horse. And I must say, when she arrived back at the farm, she would have looked as good as any horse I've had come home.
Yeah.
And credit to Daniel and Danita, just the way she was presented and so on.
Looked great, yeah.
So 4 weeks back in for the spring. She's an exciting, potentially exciting filly.
So that's Sunday. Monday, Capriccio was one of those 3 horses for the multi too, Darren. So
no multi there.
I wasn't meant to turn up today, but didn't win. We had missed 10,000 at Pakenham. She just presented to run the same run that she has for 3 starts.
Is that 3 seconds?
3 seconds. And each time, she's just been beaten by a better horse, like I think Stretto that beat her at the start before has come out and run well again. This horse was $1.60 that beat her. And I mean, what was it, half a length, not even that.
Well, yeah. Did she sort of get well-headed and then come back late?
Well, she was on the fence, which was a little crude, but Jamie Carter rode it perfect, had her to get off. Looked like the thing was going to really put her away, but she did fight back,
Gap to the rest?
Significant enough. I mean, there was only 2 that could have won it from the 200.
Yeah.
Ran 1-2.
Geez, 3 seconds, eh?
Yeah.
Surely.
I see, and Kieran's reckon she's pulled up well.
I was testing.
Chasing that maiden win.
I was testing him. I just said, yeah, maybe she'd go to paddock. He goes, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the indications from Carr was that,
She'll win a race soon.
Yeah.
And she's learning. She's improving, actually.
Yeah, her
the way
manners
she's
were
racing.
better at that, yeah.
She's actually starting to flatten out and lengthen. So.
Yep. A couple of races later, serious deal. We finally got him back to the race. It's just been hard placing, or not placing him, just getting a run on the right trip. And he had to actually come back to a mile. And it's funny. He's at the front at 200 to go. But he just goes at that one back, doesn't he? And you're a sitting duck for something that can sprint a little.
He kicked, didn't he?
Yeah, he was great. I thought 100 out of him, he was going to hold it off. And then that.
Just couldn't find the turbo bump.
Winner, but just got over the top of his
Just couldn't find the turbo bump. Just find that little. He just needed that little bit of oomph.
If he could kick off the kick, if that makes sense.
We were kicking.
We were kicking him. Yeah.
Just couldn't get him
I
up.
tell you, I texted Matt Lockwell after. I said, look, well done, bad luck. There's some versatility in the horse now. You can actually place him.
Doesn't have to lead.
Yeah, I think if you give him that gap, you can run him over 16 or go to 18 or 2. He's won over 2200, remember? So.
Yeah. Well, I think he's a horse that we thought just had to lead, and that makes him very one-dimensional. But if he can sit 1-1 like that and then find the line, he'll get his chance to win a couple.
And he's settled really well. So
the only thing that gives me a lot of confidence is I know everything we've had out of that family just has improved as they've got older. And we've got to remember, he's only 3.
Yeah, 4-year-old.
4? Just turning 4 or turning 5?
Coming 4.
No, he should be ready then.
Yeah, no. I mean, this prep, he's only missed the place once.
Yep. Paying his way without winning.
Yes. Wednesday, Sandown, we had Sea Princess, the other eye, and Invincible with Anthony Freeman. Sebring, sorry. What's the other eye of Invincible I'm thinking about? Sutherland, sorry. Got them wrong.
That's it.
She was great, beaten 3/4 for length, if that, ranked 4th.
I think once again we're going to find there's some pretty handy horses in this race. The first 4 cleared out and dominated. She made up a lot of ground in the straight, and as if you go back and watch all the races on the day, you'll find that they pretty much had to be on pace to win, which is unusual for Sandown Hillside. They were just winning from the front all day and very hard to make ground. She was probably one of the few horses that made up significant ground in the run. He's turned her out. I can see why. When she came home, she looked fantastic. She's grown a lot. She weighed, was over 480 kilos.
484, I reckon.
Yeah, 484. So she looked pretty good, but just around the back end there, she's just lightened off a bit from the run. But she was feeling pretty good in the yard last night. She was bucking around when I was trying to show one of the owners her. But 4 weeks off and back to the spring.
Shelley sent me a photo this morning. Her and Capriccio are in together with their rugs on and happily picking. So
2 nice 3-year-old
pop
fillies.
that photo up. Yeah.
But I thought her run was full of merit. Kerama got a really big opinion of the winner.
Yep.
They think it's definitely spring black type class. And we got beat half a length and we're closing late.
If you ride all 4 of the first 4 down, because it was 5 lengths back to the rest, and that generally is a nice little indication that they're all got good ability. So, a bit later on, Collectible was first up, 1400. She's finished 8th, and look, play, but
I thought
when you listen,
50 was pretty good.
Yeah, it was, just on face value. But when you listen to Craig Williams and you find out that not much ran on at all, she was really good late.
She zoomed up the rail,
and it's probably what Robbie thought. But she was still good through the line.
Needs more ground, third up, come back bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And if she's in that form, there'll be a race for her, probably third up.
Third up, Yep. So there are our runners. So again, a couple of seconds and a couple of nice 4ths. And,
a few of them are going to the paddock, so one saw. So there's probably only a couple of them that are going to race on for now.
Yeah, actually, by the time we do this list and our next list, I reckon it was only the likes of one horse is not in it. It's actually in training. I can't remember what it was. Oh, Sunburn. The only one we don't talk about is actually racing.
Racing at the moment, So we've got a few
going. Probably race later next week.
Got a few go other trials. So.
Yep.
All right.
Righto, we'll get into today. Boss is
He's
down
on
there
it.
serving. So we'll
We'll
go to
get
the
him
other
later.
runner today,
Yep.
which is
We'll
Whitehall.
come back to the Passaggio later on.
We've got to get the expert
get the-
trader
Hotel
thoughts.
owner and
This could be a trader bashing, jockey bashing episode.
maybe the syndicator bashing.
Jeez, we're in trouble.
We
Cut
can
that
sneak
out.
off before.
So we've got Whitemore who went poorly. He was going poorly before we went to the synthetic. Thought that was the trick. He went poorly on that day, but he was. Robbie didn't muck around. He's changed jockey, so you know his thoughts. We drew one and stayed there, and he copped a lot of sleigh late. That's mostly what it was on the day. So Jai's been replaced with Noel.
Callow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Darren.
We've drawn, get the strength up. Yeah, thanks, Darren. Yeah. Let's hope we hear that because he's on both jockeys today, both horses today. Drawn wide, and I think the favourite, which is the male horse, is drawn inside us. So the instructions are, follow it everywhere you go, and get to the outside.
Follow it across the line.
Yeah, no, pass it in the lane, but just stay wide, get to the middle of the track, stay with it,
Callow will do it right.
get to the line.
I don't know. What do you think about it? I don't know about this horse.
Well, the whip strike might be in danger.
He's had 26 starts for 2 wins.
Yeah, and a lot of placings.
He's a horse that we did think about putting in the online sale this
Yeah.
week, but anyway, after
Look,
the last run we had to forgive him for that, so we'll
He's
just
not
give
going
him
to be.
another
If
one.
he's on the rail today, there's something wrong.
Well, if he runs no good today,
Yeah.
I think you'll find he'll be moved on.
Yep.
Now, keep going through and we'll come back.
We'll come back to Passaggio.
He's a bit
Boss
busy
is
now.
over there. Still putting the bet on, I think. We'll go to Morphettville on Saturday. We have Sano Dolce. She's a border hopper. She's about the only person getting around the states these days.
Yeah, well,
or
she's
only
moved from
animal.
Queensland to Victoria to South Australia.
Yeah, South Australia where you don't want to go.
So we've sent her over to Will Clarkin in Adelaide. See if we can win a city race with her before she goes to stud in the spring.
Yep.
And he's producing the first up Saturday in a 0 to 58 at Morphettville.
1,000 metres.
1,050 I think it is. She's going to need the run. She's about a $9 chance on the odds, and you know, he just said he's happy with her, but whatever she does Saturday she'll improve on, but he thinks he can tick that box for us before she goes to stud in September.
She's drawn horrible, but I think there's a heap of scratching.
Yeah, she'll come
merges.
to 12 I think,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
she's got a booking with Russian Revolution.
Oh, watch out. So that's Saturday. Sunday, we've got a few runners Sunday.
Busy.
Yeah.
Are they all Bendigo?
No, one's at Werribee. We'll go to that first, which is that way somewhere. Roadrunner.
Ah, right.
Talk about a horse that's been sort of hard to place and
How
hard to
long
find
since he's
racehorse. Casterton, whenever that was.
Was that a month ago?
Would have been, what are we, about 19th? It would have been the end of last month. Just had trouble getting a run, and then we had a bad barrier and scratch. We got a bad barrier Sunday on a tight turning track, but the reports suggest we're going to run. And Maloney stays on.
Blinkers on or off?
Couldn't tell you.
The report said they were going to take him off, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Werribee doesn't excite me, that track.
Not with him at all for
Get
the
back
wide
running
gate,
off.
because you're going to have to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to go forward.
No, not at all.
And we've got Bendigo races on the same day. We'd love for him to be there, but there's no races for him.
Couldn't get it right.
No.
No races.
I think, and you think the same, there's a horse that's going well, and he's bursted to run a race. I just don't know whether we got the right track and conditions. The conditions as in barriers.
Yep. I think I had a mare there a few years ago that Flying Hula that used to get back to last.
Yep.
And he just circled the whole field and went whooshka.
Okay.
Now, he's got the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll find out if he can do it on Saturday, but yes, I would prefer him on a track that's got a 400 metre straight.
I was just reading his report. Blinkers are off, and there was a suggestion from maybe a visor, but they've taken the blinkers off, so
Oh, well.
see your input in there.
Well,
That duly noted.
Well, if he's sort of blinkers are making him wait,
Yeah.
we've had luck with horses over
Yeah.
where we've changed it to the visor. I think
Yeah.
Dragonair, Write Your Name,
Yeah.
all perform better with visors and blinkers.
Well, I can feel and see a bit more.
Yeah, they can just see a little bit. But anyway, he's sending him there a la natural, so we'll see what happens.
Bendigo, 2 runners into 1 race. We'll go to them, and they were in the same race last time at Sandown, where they an Indian for a Corella, 2nd and 3rd. Connery and Captain Harry, benchmark 78 mile. John McNeil on Captain Harry. Mr. Williams on Connery. Captain Harry's drawn 4, Connery drawn 10. It leads to me thinking the way Captain Harry was ridden last time, where he led, before not like a cage line, he probably gets the favours from the gate. But bit of rain,
A lot of rain
forecast.
forecast.
That
Half an inch on Sat.
sort of suits both.
Look, both horses are going well. I don't think there's a great deal between them.
It's not an overly strong race.
I would have thought Connery was open to a little bit more improvement. Only
Yeah.
getting a couple of runs.
He's probably had an extra run, Captain Harry.
So Captain Harris probably had the fitness on him. They might be sort of, I think they'd be both fully fit.
Level up now. Yep.
There's not much between them. I think on the weights, I don't know what the turnaround is, but
I think that'd be pretty similar.
pretty similar now. I just feel that both horses are going well. I've just got a feeling that Bendigo on a wet track, the rail can be a bit off. So, and if Williams finds the right part of the track, which is normally the crown, he might just be able to get over the top of them. So I'd probably lean towards Connery, so watch Captain Harry win by 5.
I think later in the day the jocks will have.
Look, John McNeil, he loves the fence.
We've drawn 4.
He'll stick to the fence.
Surely.
He'll go to the fence and get bobbed.
I think it's about race 7, so if they haven't learned by then.
Mitch is a good track work
Yeah.
walker, so I'm sure he'll instruct him to come down the centre. I think they'll be getting wide if we get the rain, but
Well, let's
there's
hope.
plenty of rain
They're
forecast.
side by side, about 8 off the fence,
Then you'll be kicking
and
for the
go
fluoro
back,
colours,
and
mate.
they did it.
You'll kick for the fluoro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Sorry, Neville.
Yeah, you'll be kicking for the fluoro.
Yeah.
They've won plenty of money this month. They don't need it.
I've got fooled the other day looking for Capriccio.
In the blue and white
Yeah,
colours.
I'm looking, I'm
Hard to
going,
find in the run.
I thought I was watching the wrong race. I'm going for the remote.
I've told you, mate. Stay off the drink when you're watching the races.
Not another one in different colours through the week as well.
Just stop drinking when you watch.
Drinking too much water. Don't know whether it's before or after. I think it's before. Penthouse Playboy goes around second up for Patrick Ryan.
He's another horse had a month between runs.
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 and a bit. Out to 2400 from 7-8.
Good run first up.
Terrific run.
What's he saying?
Leaving Laura up, Lafferty, who rode him really well. He said normally the jump from 17 to 24 you would be a little bit. We've said it.
I'd be very scared.
Yeah. But he said this horse is, he reckons it's not so much the fitness, it's the match fitness. He has won there over that trip, but I think Damien Lane rode him about 2 years ago now, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. He did run well then.
Yeah.
Are you worried second?
I think he's had 1 run in 2 runs in 18 months. He could be flat second up, coming off a heavy 10, but he's probably going to get a heavy 8 or 9 again anyway. I always love to see him after a good run first up these stars. There seems to be a flat run somewhere,
Got it.
and then third up. But he trains a bit different, Pat. He's just all booch.
Well, I agree
Gallop.
with you. I agree with what you said earlier.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Richmond were pretty flat second up.
I reckon Carlton flattened it pre-COVID. That's 3 months ago, but we flattened ourselves.
They were pretty flat last night, Richmond.
That was shocking.
No?
How many Richmond supporters have we got? We'll
Second-
find out.
second
now.
up.
Oh, God, where are they woeful? You don't barry for Hawthorn either, do you?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I said,
I was
went,
texting everyone I could think of.
I went the early crow halfway through the second quarter, and then they got a bit worried when they started having a few shots of goal in the last quarter. But yeah, they should be swamped, Hawthorn. Got done by 10 goals a week before.
Yeah, well, they're no good first up, obviously.
Yeah, they did. Well, listen to the Clarkson after. He basically said that. He said, we were just flat because of the COVID break. He said, that,
Rusty, just rusty.
but that, when you get challenged, you haven't got that steel about you because you haven't been in consecutive competitive matches. He said they got steeled up during the week and they responded.
Well, I just wonder whether Penthouse Playboy is going to turn up like Richmond or
Jesus.
Hawthorn.
Well,
I'm hoping Hawthorn.
Hawthorn for the first half, and he'll have a lead big enough to win the Melbourne and Warrnambool.
Anyway, we'll
No,
see
look,
how
it's
he
good.
goes.
And look, he's held his soundness. He only has to train on from now on over the next 3 or 4 runs, and he'll be winning very quickly. Won't say it Sunday.
No,
I reckon
it's
3rd or 4th up.
He's got the abilities, no doubt.
We've
We've just got to
always
keep it together.
maintained, once you get to 2024, you always need that 1 run,
You've got
don't
to
you?
remember when he was in good form and going well,
Yeah.
he nearly won him down.
Yeah, yeah.
Twice, I think. So Your city class, that's why we've persevered.
Yeah, 3,000 metre runner up by net at the Valley. So
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
so that's the 3 runners there. Swan Hill. Now this is I'm really keen to see
Back to
this.
the races, Pete.
Yeah, well, supposedly, I don't know, you got to go through
Monday, don't you?
enough rigmarole and paperwork.
I'm not sure many owners will be
Sailing to Swan Hill.
going to Swan Hill and trying to go through all the rigmarole to get in where you can't go near the horse, the jockey or the trainer.
Well, for the people of Husniaki, who is our first runner post-owner lockout, they'll receive all the information via email. I think you've got to respond to what you want to do and how you're going to get there, and then you'll be told where you can go to watch the race. And I think you're only allowed to be on course for X amount of time. You can't go to the mountain yard, you can't go and look at your horse. So it sounds like you might be put in a corporate box and just left there. No, it's all going to be, you're all going to be housed away from all the
I
action.
suppose it'll take a week or two to get used to it. I mean, we've got used to everything else we've been told to do.
And look, we've been lucky that we've kept rolling.
Yeah.
Husniaki.
First up, Paul Pushka, what do you think?
Oh, look, Paul's really happy with the way she's come along. She's really matured. She's taken his work, and like Paul doesn't miss him. We're not going to be that kind.
Gets him fit.
Gets him fit. And I sent her final gallop this morning. You might have seen that on video. She looked nice and strong through the line. Goes to a 1,200 metre race at Swan Hill, which will suit, big straight.
You weren't happy with the rider.
Christine rides her all the time, rode her in all the work.
So what were we appointing for?
No, it's the husband, Dean.
Oh,
Daniel, Dean, yeah, who's suspended.
He's riding Monday too, isn't he?
Oh, he might be back, is he? Yeah.
But you said she's got the wood on him?
Oh, by far the best rider in the household the last week, because he hasn't been riding.
That's it.
Christine does all the work with Paul, a lot of work with Paul, and has been on this filly. She's first emergency, that's the only little hurdle
Should
left to
get
jump. Yeah, well, I think all the emergencies are drawn inside and all the favourite runners are drawn outside.
There's always a lot of scratchings on a Monday.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's right, a lot of dual acceptors after
Yeah,
the
wide
weekend.
gate. So what are you thinking?
I reckon she's a
Top four?
easy, yeah,
Easy.
easy top 4 chance.
Sneaky.
And because that rain,
Yep, she's in there.
she's
Thank you.
done, every time I look at the video, it's bloody wet at Horsham. And I think,
What are you saying about Horsham, Pete?
well, they just get the road for a change. I reckon
There's plenty of
it
sand
could
up
be
there,
a little
of course.
surprise with it, eh?
Plenty of sand at Paul, so it'd be
Yeah.
heavy sand she'd be working in.
And then you think you're getting out of that and you go to a heavy grass track. So
Oh,
I'm
she
quietly confident she can run a race.
She ran a nice race first up last time.
It
and
was
she
all
wasn't ready.
upside down,
And
yeah.
she wasn't ready.
And then went badly, she saw.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, top 4.
Yep. That's it, Darren, because we had no noms for Ballarat Syntho and we had no noms for Sandown.
So am I right in saying you won't be going to Swan Hill to watch Hasanaki
not,
from
no.
the corporate box?
No, I will not be going to watch Husniaki. Unless, if Yendel's back, he might have his helicopter out.
So I wonder now what the arrangements are, Pete, with our breakers, given that they're going into the Geelong track, whether we're allowed to go and have a look at them doing their education there. We might have to.
No,
Might have to get in contact with
not
the
allowed.
Favres.
Oh, yeah, the guy. No.
I could probably dress you up as their CEO. Daniel, yeah. Daniel, you could dress up as Daniel or shave your head.
All training centres and race tracks for trials are still out of bounds.
Wow.
They just said that's still out of bounds. So you still can't go and watch trials or training or anything like that because they can't control where you are.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, that'll change. I give school holidays are finished.
Yeah, things will open up.
Open up.
As long as we still don't keep having double-digit new cases every day.
Bloody something wrong. They're all the people that don't want to go to South Australia that Daniel Andrews said is no good. So they stayed here.
Well, I think they were saying the return travellers to Australia are only landing in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Mostly Melbourne at the moment.
So we're competent.
So even though they don't reside in Victoria, they've been
Yeah.
they're landing in
Landing
Victoria,
there, we're
and then they
competent
can't go
bases.
home.
Statistics have been screwed a bit there, Darren, I reckon. I don't know where the boss is.
Well, let's talk about Passaggio. We'll slot him a little bit later.
Yeah.
He can have his little rant.
Out to 2,200, Darren. We've gone from 14 where he couldn't even see the second last horse to a mile where he's tacking on, to 2,000 where he was pretty good, but just no real turn of foot. Out to 22. And onto the synthetic.
Yep, and Noel Callow goes back on.
Vigorous Noel Callow, he won't
He's
miss him.
second favourite.
Yeah,
This is going to be a big form race.
and again, I reckon it's the male horse in this race.
Yeah.
It's
Is this going to be a big form race?
for the, what's that race that they call it, Ballarat?
The Hotham,
Hotham?
where you put the
I
lowest
don't know if
rated
it'll be a big form race somehow, but it's going to be a win for someone.
horse. He can run the top three.
Look, nothing is, you can't say he can win.
We've got him in the online sale, Pete.
Yeah.
He's in the online sale this week.
Yeah.
All right,
Look,
now.
from a month ago, it's a good result that he's ran 3/4.
Yeah,
And he can get into the placings today.
this will be his last run for
Well,
us.
his form line would look okay to a prospective buyer somewhere, somehow, some price.
Whatever you reckon. All right, let's go to the tipping.
Tipping, yes. Sideshow Bob. Actually, there's a lot of good high scores last
Hey,
week.
well,
A bit of tipping. And
There's a bit of good tipping going on there because that was a pretty tough weekend. I noticed you and Liz went woeful.
no, I got my best bet up, didn't I?
What, the $1.40 shot?
No, I can't remember what I had.
Yeah, I can. That thing of Williams's. Harbour Views.
Paid 340 actually.
It's $1.40 shot.
But, well, there was about 60 others that didn't think it could win. I can't believe how many did tip it.
I know.
Yeah, it was a good win, wasn't it?
But there's some good tipsters amongst that
Yeah.
board.
Well, Sideshow Bob cleaned up
He's
with
got
14 points.
83 points. He's 3 ahead of
Tommy Holsworth,
Tom Holsworth.
who the week before,
I'm just going to pull it up. I've got it here.
you got,
You got
it?
it?
I think I did have it. No, I've lost it. Yeah, I've lost it.
Anyway, I see Glenn Duncan was in third spot.
Yep.
He's pretty confident. He just rang me during the week and said, don't close it. I just need 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks and I'll hit the lead. So,
I think it was about 83, Bob, 81 and 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a plethora of them on in the 70s. All the early leaders that have folded up, all the 1.5 milers that can't run 2 miles.
yeah, a lot of short sprinters there.
Yeah, they folded
But,
up. But
yeah,
it's
so
been interesting and
I reckon
a
there
good comp.
could only be a few weeks to go. So,
Well, it's week 11 tomorrow.
yeah, I reckon there could only be a few weeks to go. I reckon at the end of school holidays,
Yeah, so
if they open the borders,
squeeze it another 2 or 3 weeks.
we'll find a prize. I found a really good prize.
Have that?
Yeah, the hotel in Melbourne where they quarantine the internationals. What's it called? Ridges?
Yeah,
Geez, I reckon I'll be able to get someone a month's accommodation there for about $30. Would you go and stay at Ridges in Melbourne after this?
Not for a while. Not for a little while. Maybe the 21st,
So I reckon
22nd
Melbourne
century.
Culley, a week's accommodation at Ridges Hotel.
What about that? I was half read
They have to
that.
rename that hotel's name.
One of the blokes that sleeps on the streets, he just walked in, got a room.
Did he?
Yeah. Just said he had the virus and was here and booked himself into a room for the night. I must pull that up. It was funny. I started reading. I thought, well, there you go.
Well, I think the best story I heard this week was when did Geelong race?
Last Friday.
Last Friday.
Yeah.
A couple of blokes turned up and were dressed up as in the gear. He said, oh yeah, we work here, sign in.
Oh, be buggered.
So they signed.
They got in.
Anyway, they got escorted out pretty smart. When the officials there suddenly said, who are you? You don't work here. Yeah, so they turned out to be a couple of owners with the horses in the first.
Unbelievable. And they got in to
Got
see
in,
him,
got
then
in.
got
Well,
out.
they didn't get to see the race.
Oh, they didn't see it.
They were escorted out.
Right.
So just shows you that there's a few tricky desperates there.
Desperate to get back to the races. That's what it is. Well, when WA with the horses have got loose up the highway. And how silly.
The coppers are chasing.
Do a good job, the police force, but when you got your lights on chasing a horse, it's not going to pull over. Eh?
Well, I think they put the red light on so the horse would know it's a false start.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. No,
But
it
then I
just
see
went faster.
at Bendigo, it was something on Twitter where there was a greyhound race about to jump and 3 trotters walked out on the track. They got a trotting centre next door.
They just got out.
Someone left the gate open and they've just all done up in their rugs, all walked out on the track just as the starter was about to push go.
Jeez, that would have been handy.
Oh,
That would have been carnage.
well, the dogs might have had to jump it, but yeah, so some funny things in the world. What about the Jamie Mott's fine?
No, I didn't see that.
Jamie tweeted out after I spent a race that went Sandown on Wednesday, not much in it, and Regan Bayless got fined. Won the race.
Whip rule?
Whip rule.
Yep.
Jamie tweeted out, any owners out there that want to put me on that are quite prepared to cop the $1,500 I'll get, I'm happy to whip the horse more than 10 or 15 times. Stewart's pulled him over at Seymour yesterday, found him 1,500, and there's quite a few tweets now saying Billy Egie got fined 800 for breaking the rule. Jamie Mott's got fined 1,500 just for a flippant remark. So there's some angry ants out there at the moment.
I don't know if, but Jamie, that was the smartest thing
No,
on Twitter.
and Yendel started a bloody stir fire with the weight thing. He said, I got to reduce the weights. What's the use of having them up? Bring them all down. And of course, Ben Malcolm said, well, you should be able to get rides. This is Twitter between them. Get rides on your ability, not your weight, dude. And then someone else come out and said...
A bit of competition.
Yeah, someone come out in favour of dude. And then, I think it was Jamie Mott again, said, well, maybe you just need to wait till puberty comes along. So the jocks have been having a fair old wag at each other. It might be the gold versus the green section, but
yeah. They're not getting enough rides, they're not riding track where they can't, they've got too much time on their hands.
Well, they're tweeting like hell, so yeah, having a bit of a go at each other. So when they're all back in the one room, there might be a few 3-round fights coming on.
Yeah, interesting times, eh? Interesting. And what about Royal Ascot, Pete? You've been watching
Watched a couple, Stradivarius last night.
And they're all plotting him. They said he couldn't win.
Well,
got out to $2.10.
He ran second that first race 10 days ago and chased hard.
4,000 metres Ascot Gold Cup, 4,000 cross counter, horse we're very familiar with, run third.
Yep.
And in the 2,000 metre stakes race last night, a horse ran second, Sir Dragon Name.
Yeah.
It was a horse we came very, very close to acquiring last year.
And Floating Artist runs tonight. Yeah. And I see Francesca Camani's tipped him on top.
Interesting.
So, it's good to watch those.
Ran early first up.
Yeah, righto. But just having floated our eyes across them over the last 6 months.
We know the form.
Yeah, it's just good to see how they run. What gets me now, like they're running in the top class races over here, and every time they come over here, they go, oh, these second-rate stars from England, they should win our race. They're actually not. They're their best stars over there.
Wow.
You
Sure,
know,
there is a champion.
absolutely.
Cross counter was pretty handy.
Yeah.
And some of these other horses are pretty good too. So
What gets me is like they've been, this is how good their training is over there. They've had no racing, and they've come out with these races on the, well, it hasn't been a limited preparation because they've still been over-trained. But they can get them to the track second up over 4,000.
I know, how's that work?
Just steal.
Imagine if we went to our trainers and we want to go second up over 4,000, they just look at your crossover.
We're worried about Penthouse Playboy second up over 2,400, but it just shows you the different methodology. I mean, some of those horses never go to work over there, do they?
And the training, like, they go for a canter on a grass track that goes for about 5k.
Yeah.
You know, they don't do 3 laps, do they? They just go out and
their warm-ups would kill them.
Yeah, that's right, you're seeing they just, I mean, I couldn't believe I went to the Curragh and they had a 4,000 metre race.
Yeah.
And they went half a lap. Half a lap. They started over there and they went around and came back.
Yeah, that's it. What about the straight races over the mile?
Binoculars you couldn't even see it.
Mile straight races.
Yeah, mate.
The cameras keep going from there to there and you see the undulations.
If you do happen to catch a straight race at Ascot over a bit of ground, you really do want to have a look at the undulation because when they go down the dip, they actually go out of sight.
Yeah.
Like it's a
if you look at
drip.
yeah,
and 20 foot, and then they got to come up the hill.
And that last one where they're under the pump and it's testing, and that's where you see the field sort of stagger. You know, the ones that can't handle it. So, no, intriguing racing, English racing.
Yep. So Ascot finishes up, I think, tomorrow night. So
day 3.
Good race tomorrow. A couple of good races coming up. Silver Jubilee with Pin Turbo.
Yep.
As you say, Flooding Harvest in tonight. And there's some really good horses. So no crowds.
Different,
but good racing.
At least they're able to race.
And I think the Queen might have had a winner during the week.
She had a winner and a second in the Derby.
Yeah.
So she's right. She's up and about. She's up and about.
She'll be able to pay her rent.
96 or whatever she is.
Pay her rent.
Yeah.
Well, she's got 2 less. She's got to feed now, hasn't she? Because they've escaped to Canada.
Yeah, I'm
so she wouldn't be supporting them anymore. Sure.
I'm sure they'll be on the Christmas table in a hurry going forward.
Well, anyway, we're going to wrap it up. We'll give Damien the flick here because he's obviously busy with table service.
He's either trying to get on or he doesn't think he can win.
Well, we're probably a bit late starting and he's got busy early, so we'll let him do his job. If you haven't been to the Royal Meredith Hotel in Meredith with Claire and Damo here, they got a couple of horses with ATB. I see they've even got our sign up on the wall there,
Yeah.
which is good of them. So
Mention ATB.
get over here and mention ATB, and instead of paying $5 for a pot, you'll pay $7.50. Until next week, I'm Darren Dance with Peter Morganti.